Hey everybody, Ben for the Benner Podcast, and welcome to Print to Pitch. This is our show where we have a look at everything 3D printed for Blood Bowl. Now we've got a double feature for you today. We've got part 1 and part 2 of UGNI's most recent release. It's still available at the moment, and that is UGNI's Norse team. Okay, so UGNI, one of the best sculptors out there, especially for Blood Bowl, although he does do some very cool sci-fi stuff, I don't have on my desk at the moment, has released 2 months worth of Norse. Now this is his Northern Clans release, and let's have a look. So we've got both parts here of the team, including some of the star players that he's provided as part 2 as well. So let's have a sneaky peek through at what you get. So part 1, you got the Troll. Let's see if we can flick through the pictures and see if we can bring them up. You got 6 linemen, and you got a beautiful pair of beer boars. So first part of the release gave you Valkyrie 1 of 2, Berserker 1 of 2, and Werewolf 1 of 2. So although those sculpts were really good fun, which we will absolutely positively be showing off in a second, when it comes to 2-part teams, sometimes it's better just to wait for the whole thing. And we've got a chunky boy of a troll as well, and you get the tokens and stuff like that. So part 1 release was 6 linemen, half the positionals, both the beer boars, and the Yeti. And then part 2, which came out this month, has got some real lovely bits in it. So as we flick through, you've got 2 more Norse warriors, so that gives us 8 linemen for the team now, all individually sculpted, all individual poses and stuff like that, which are just... We are absolutely blessed when it comes to 3D printed stuff for Blood Bowl. And then you get part 2 of the positionals. So you get the second Berserker, the second Valkyrie, and the second Werewolf. Now, this is a Northern Clans, which looks like Clash of Clans, which is quite funny. But like a theme, so the team is very much, you kind of got your classic Viking style, but it's kind of Chaos Marauder style. Like this guy here just absolutely positively looks like a Chaos Marauder champion from Warhammer the Old World. Like, I love that. But the werewolves themselves, they are very cool. And they've got these kind of like ice blocks sticking out of them. So it's a semi kind of like ice crystal, but I mean, there's a lot of underworld vibe here. So if you want to kind of go and gem them up and make them really grotty and chaosy, I can see whole team, you know, dark brown, lots of shades and washes, and then just some really glowy like purple, pink, blue, green crystals on them to kind of like bring out that chaos vibe. Now, because the way UGNI does stuff is part 2 is going to give you the support staff as well, including a couple of star players. We've got the apothecary, the coach. Now, the coach is a very wicked model, and we'll put him on the spinny plate in a minute. I mean, I printed this guy off not knowing he was the coach at first, because I was like, oh, that's cool. Is this the star player? Is this the Ivar star player? It's the coach model, but I think he makes a very cool Ivar stand-in. There's some great cheerleader models that I'd completely forgotten and didn't print, so my bad. We've got a star player, which is Thorson Stoutmead. Where is he? Yeah, we've got him there as well, so that's the beer... do you know what? The beer-chucking guy. And then you've got Skrog, who is the star player, and he's done a great job modelling the quiff on him as well, which I think is really cool. And that, you get some busts as well. Yeah, and some bases. Oh man, didn't realise there were bases. I've gone basic bases, black bases, and I could have printed out some UGNI ones. Oh, silly Ben. Anyway, you get all the stuff across the 2 teams, and the way UGNI does is you'll be able to pick up the team, and no worries. But if you're a Patreon or a mini factory tribes member, you will have access to this anyway. Right, normally we'd look at some of the STLs, but I don't think that's entirely necessary because you can see what STLs are. We'll only kind of go through STLs when things are in bits and pieces, so you can see what you can choose from. Now, UGNI stuff comes fully supported and is one of the only 2 people I back where I don't worry about supporting my own stuff. I will just straight up use the supports that UGNI provides, and I didn't have a single failure, and I absolutely love it. It's so nice to just be able to go, ooh, cool models, chuck them on the plate, print them at 0.04, and then get some lovely models. And the best way to show off the models is to show off the models. So like I said, I printed all of these on standard Elegoo Resin 2 with my Saturn 2s, which I appreciate. I kind of getting old printers now, which is madness because the quality is superb. Let us drop this into, and let's bring in the spinny plate. Okay, so let's put some of the Lineman on the spinny plate so that we can show off these models and we can see just how, oh, look at that. Yeah, all right, I like this upgrade. This is a reasonable upgrade. Let's chuck some more Linemen on. This is Ben having a really good time playing with models now, which is obviously what it's all about. So we'll chuck on all of the Linemen onto the spinny plate so we can show them off, and then we will do a bit of a size comparison as well. So this is the Lineman batch. This is all 8 of the Linemen available that come with the team, so both parts. And again, like I said, I've used standard supports. I've not cleaned them up brilliantly, but they come across very, very, very well. Let's see if we can't. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do, but slowing the camera down is quite useful. You need to be that color, please. All right, so that is the Norse Lineman. Let's leave a couple on the plate. And let's do the ubiquitous size test. Now we have got a skeleton Lineman here provided by Milton. So we'll chuck him on the plate. And we have got, I think, somewhere, oh yeah, we've got one of our Black Orcs on there too. So we can have the spinny plate go around and we can see that the scale of these guys is perfect for a size 3 player. I think we do want that a little bit faster. So let's see if we can't do this without changing the color. Yeah, let's speed it up. There we go. So we can get a nice shot of these guys in scale compared to a Black Orc. Let's move my little face so that we can see it better. Do you know what? Let's get rid of my little face. Let's see if we can't do that. Can do that. There we go. So scale wise, these guys I think are absolutely perfect. Right, that's the Lineman done and dusted. They are very cool sculpts, as you can kind of see. I think it's time for some positionals. And when it comes to Norse, let's face it, the beer bores are the positional that you care about. So the team comes with 2 different beer bores and they are fantastic. So let's drop them next to each other on the spinny plate and bring that up. So you can see we've got 2 very cool beer bores, loads of details. Let's chuck a scale piece in there as well. So the beer bores are balls with beer. They fit nicely on 32mm bases and quality is lovely. Sculpting is lovely. Character is absolutely lovely. They're probably a bit bigger than they need to be because these are what? Are they strength 1 pieces? The beer bore, these guys are a bit bigger, potentially strength 2 sized. But it's a beer bore. There's only one of those on the Norse team, so it's not hard to kind of get your head around the fact that they are, in fact, the little animal piece. All right, we've got some werewolves now. Now, these werewolves are werewolves, but they are Ulfwereners for the Norse roster. The way UGNI does stuff is it will change up a bit of theme. And the fact that you kind of got the werewolf in here. I mean, I think they were called werewolves in the last edition before they kind of got re-upped to Ulfwereners for IP reasons, I think, or just to unconfuse them with the necromantic stuff. So good sized models. Do they fit up well with strength 4? They're a little bit on the small side, I think, for strength 4. So if you want your Ulfs to look big and chunky, you might want to rescale them ever so slightly. But again, when it comes to the Norse roster, the positional is what the positional is, right? So if you've got a werewolf, then you know that that werewolf is going to be the werewolf. And you know what the werewolf is going to be? It's going to be an Ulfwerener at strength 4. So I don't think it's that difficult and certainly not something to worry about. So other positionals that we've got on the Norse team, we have got Berserkers. So here's one of the Berserkers in a very cool pose. This guy really does come across as a marauder chieftain, that kind of style. And let's drop on a second guy and just admire the models because they are pretty cool. Very dynamic sculpts. The cool thing about these that I really like is scale wise they're good to go. Let's chuck our victim skeleton on there as well, just to show off scale wise it fits perfectly. But Berserkers are really key players for Norse. I'm not a huge fan of them versus the Ulf one. If I could only have one, I would take the Ulf, because you can get block really easily. You can't get strength 4 really easily. So when it comes to picking and choosing, I do like the Ulf over the Berserker. But the fact they pulled off this proper chieftain vibe, this proper chaos marauder chieftain vibe, I really like. And you can see I've done a bad job cleaning up the supports there, but you've got like, you've still got little stripes. So if we take this, you can still see like the little stripes on the side of his trousers. You've got a little pattern there, which is going to come up really nice with a bit of painting. Like, there is a ton of really good detail here that I think is not going to be too taxing to paint up. Right, Valkyries. Do I have both the Valkyries, or do I just have one Valkyrie? I don't know what I've done with the other Valkyrie. Never mind. Is that a Valkyrie? That is not a Valkyrie. All right, there's probably another Valkyrie on my desk somewhere. Let's pop one Valkyrie down. And I imagine as we go along, I'll probably come across the other one anyway, or maybe when I do the next print to pitch. So, one Valkyrie. The set does come with two, but there it is. I knew I had both. I knew I printed them. I tried to print one of every position or one of every player. We don't normally need them, but it's always good to show them off, right? Okay, Valkyries, very dynamic poses, and the fact that they've got like pass and catch and stuff like that. When you've got the ball carrier positional, you kind of want the ball carrier positional often to have the ball. So I know that there's kind of like a mixed vibe on whether you want a player to actually have the ball or not. But I think they work really nicely. Again, strength 3 players. So, size me skeleton comes back in. Beautiful job on the paint job there, Milton. And you can see they're actually well built, but not to the point where you're going to think there's a strength 4. So that's kind of exactly what you want your strength 3 pieces to be. Not so small that they look like a goblin, and not so big that they look like a troll. Talking of trolls, it's time to bust out the big boy. So this is the team troll that comes with the set, and he is a chunky boy. Like, I do very much like this model, and he is a bit big actually, so it doesn't quite fit in the box, but that's okay, I'll dial that in. So you can see loads of fur, loads of armor, the fabric on the shorts. You've got all these crystal things going off on him as well, which I really love. And you've got that kind of round shield motif that's kind of carried around the team that just absolutely smacks of Norse, which is what you want. Now, size-wise, he is a good size, but not so big that it's going to be a problem. So we can kind of have a look at the footprint on him in a second. And when he's sized up to a strength 4 piece, who's the big guy? You know who the big guy is. He's the big guy. He's the guy that is bigger. Right, there we go. So the troll is good to go, which is fantastic, which means we can get some star players. We'll stick with troll territory and we'll have a look at Skrorg. So this is UGNI's Skrorg model. Actually, you know what? Let's just see if we can bounce up the camera a little bit. See if we can't show off Skrorg a little bit better. It's a very cool model. He's absolutely nailed the quiff, I think. I really do. Like, a lot of personality in this model. A really squished face, which I think just kind of harkens back to the artwork. So Skrorg is a star player Yeti. I'm not a massive fan, because I think the standard Yeti, where he's got frenzy and he's got claw, is actually pretty wicked. And this guy doesn't have frenzy, so it's kind of like, all right, you've got a more reliable big guy, but then you've got Zug if you're old world, and Borak, I suppose, if you're not old world. But then if you want a star player that's got frenzy, because you kind of want to do some murdering, right? You got Scylla. Anyway, so very cool star player Yeti. I mean, the ultimate thing about that is when you've got the star player Yeti model, you can kind of use him as an alt for your Yeti, which I really like. Okay, here we got Thorson Stoutmead. I'm not sure what UGNI's called him, but that's what he is. So this guy is going to go really nicely in the crowd, actually. So I think even though it's a very cool star player model, he's going to go on the stadium that you can see us slowly building in the background there. So very cool model, lots of theme. He's got the old beer ball hat. He's kind of like the living beer ball, right? And he throws beer bombs, which is very cool. Size wise, again, he is a strength 3 character, and he fits in really nicely with the skeleton. So good size 3 one there. And do you know what? I've talked myself into this. We've got the coach model here. Let's pop the coach model on. So I love this. That big old chieftain, almost wood elf style hat that he's got is a dream. And the fact he's got the pointing finger, which kind of lines him up, because I didn't call this out, but there is a Techno Viking model in this set as well. which is absolutely spot on. If you don't know who Techno Viking is, give it a quick Google. It is retro. So size-wise, if you are going to use him as a coach, he's good to go. If you're going to use him as Ivar, and I have now talked myself into using him as Ivar, I would probably bump him up 10 to 15%. Just make him imposing. Make him big and strength 4 to pull it off. And there you have got another star player for the Norse team, which is just delicious. So when it comes to the UGNI Norse team, if you are in the market for a Norse team, you can grab all of this. You get all the positionals, 8 different linemen, 1, 2, kind of 3 different star players, all the support staff that you'll need, a coach, an apothecary, the cheerleaders. It's a really great complete set. And apparently there are some ice bases too, which it's a bit late to use them now, but I'm sure they'll come in handy at some point. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think about UGNI's latest team, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment below, or come and join us on Patreon or YouTube members for bonus content and early access to everything we do on all the channels on the Bonehead network, because more wargaming is more better. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. Happy gaming.